So here's my other video about solving problems. Elon Musk talks about how do you know if somebody is the real deal? You ask them what problem they have had to face and how did they solve it. And he said a lot of people will basically BS you, acting like they're an expert on things with no real details of how they solve problems. So, details. So, for me, pretty much having absolutely zero to live on when my husband, pretty much decided he wanted to file for divorce and was not sending money, right? I'm like, wait a minute, you need to send more money than this if you want insurance, right? So he kept dropping the money, and he didn't want to send any more money. Even $120 a week up until his son was 18 isn't even enough to take care of a home. So, how do you make it when you hit zero? How do you make it? So, one of the major things we're seeing right now is the housing crises. And just looking at a video of San Francisco and how many people are on the streets is unbelievable. So, when I've hit zero, how have I done it? First of all, I roommate with my sons. Okay, so it's just business right now, and as I have tried to get on my feet with one job after another and crazy things happening. I mean, like one job I was fired from, I didn't even do anything, and then they ended up firing him later on. But just one thing after another, right? Trying to like a single mom when I first got here and trying to focus on, you know, finding my way around to a new place, a new state, someone who didn't travel a lot, to making sure my son was okay, just biking with, in the dangerous parts of town, to dealing with a car that needed an engine. On and on it went, right? Taking my focus away from work too. Whereas before, when I worked too, I didn't really have to work. My main focus was my family. Now I see, without enough help from my husband emotionally and being there, if you don't have enough help as a single mom and you're carrying the load, it is a lot harder. Because your focus is all over the place, right? When you don't have the help you're supposed to have when you're married. So how do we solve the housing crises? One thing I will say, one of the things I did is during the times of not having a lot of money, like being between jobs, I would say get creative. Get creative with your money. So like if the electric bill was due, I would say, okay, here's the electric bill, here's your portion, here's my portion, here's your portion, and you hold on to that electric money until you get your next check, right? You say, okay, I need the electric money from you guys, then you hold on to it until you get the next one. Or you go get help with it, right? So I've used resources to help me a lot. But now with the housing market, how do we afford that one? So, as I look to help people and help mothers on this channel in a million ways, one of the things that we've recently done is we are moving. We're moving in a few weeks, and I've got boxes all around me. And one of the ways we did it was with just short-term work. Short-term. You can get a house. So I went over to a fast food place, and all I needed was 2 paychecks. That's it. 2 paychecks to show what I'm making. There was no work history. How long have you been there? Nothing. And with enough income, you could get a house. So for me, it was just, we want to see 2 times as much as what the rent is. And if you have that income, you can get right in. So I really think this is a solution to short-term housing. So, last week I didn't make much because I was sick and my work just didn't have a lot of hours. So, if they were to look at, long-term checks, I probably wouldn't have gotten this place. All you need is like a month's worth of work. And to go to an apartment building, we're going to this nice apartment building where they're just like, okay, we just need to see your pay stubs. So that was without me having, the same amount of income before I started this job. And you know, sometimes what a lot of apartment buildings do is they're just like, okay, if we don't see enough long-term work history or something, it's just, you know, $29 extra a month added on to that. So I think that is just going to be a real creative solution if people can get into housing, you know, short term, you get a, you know, say another chance. I mean, they didn't even look at rental history here. You know, they just knew we have been here 2 years. So when I was, you know, talking to my husband about things, I'm like, look, you're going to have to give me probably 2 years to get over here. I couldn't find any housing in New Hampshire. We signed a lease. I'm like, it's probably going to take about 2 years to get a real good, strong foundation of credit, etc. And he was just like, I don't, you know, he didn't really want to wait a couple years. He didn't really want to, you know, figure out where he could stay and wait or find something. So we've been over here 2 years, and you know it hasn't been the perfect rental history, but you still can move. I mean, places don't look at that. They're like, okay, you want to move here? Just show us your income, show us what you make, and I think that is going to be, like I said, a huge solution for people if we can get them in short term on how much they make, and then from there, you know, once we're in there, I mean, you can just go from there and, you know, find more work or find a different job or whatever. So today I am leaving soon for another job, a second job. I'm not leaving this one, a second job to continue the grind. Because from there, I think what you want to do is you do want to have a good emergency fund. And that is the plan, to have a really good emergency fund and keep on grinding, because you have to keep that focus on your work. You know, a lot of times we talk about money and we're like, oh, do this with money or do that with money. I think the main thing is just focus on your jobs. Focus on that. I had something I saw where they said master one skill in your life when it comes to finances. And that could be just focus on your job and save. That's it. Just work and save, work and save. And before you know it, you will have a lot of money. So that's what I got. I hope this tip helps moms, you know, single moms or moms out there, or families that are trying to make it. Just have those paychecks to show, you know, just a month. Yes, I've got the high income, and you'll be able to make it. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.